Hello, my name is Patrick Fletcher, and welcome to our dice game video. In this video, we'll split into 3 parts, each one being narrated by a different member of the team. In this first part, I'll be walking you through the part of the project that I had the biggest hand in creating, the core. So let me run the app, and I'll show you how it works. So this is just the core of the app. This is not the entire thing. So in the middle here, we have the dice rolls and other animations. On the left, we have player 1's controls, health, and score. And on the right, we have player 2's controls, health, and score. So once both players hit their start buttons, all the elements pop into place and the game begins. So the way it works is that the person with the highest roll determines what happens next depending on whether they have their switch set to attack or heal. So let's say the winner's is set to attack. That means the loser loses their health that is equal to the winner's score minus the loser's score. So in this place, player 2 had the higher roll and had their switch set to attack. So player 1 loses the amount of health that's equal to 5 minus 3 or 2. Now, if the winner has their switch set to heal, then they will gain back the amount of health that is equal to their roll minus their opponent's roll. In this case, player 1 won and had their switch set to heal, which means he got back health of 6 minus 5 or 1 health back. Now you might have noticed that that player 2 actually technically won the previous round and had their switch set to heal, but their health did not go above 10. That is because 10 is the cap, so that way the game doesn't literally go on forever. So, then once one player's score hits 0, the round ends. The round ends, come on. Come on. So once one player hits 0, a message pops up saying who wins. The winner has +1 added to their score, and everything resets. So you might have noticed that there's no turn system. Like, either player could roll first. And in my head, I thought I was being clever at the time by not having a turn system, because if either player can roll first, let's say that like player 2 wants to wait to see what they want their switch to be after player 1 rolls, for example. So I thought I was being clever by having either player go first, but unfortunately it led to a bunch of problems when we get into the ThinkSpeak segment, but that is not my segment, so let's go into the code. So having the dice rolls and the images show up, it was very simple. I just set a variable to equal to Randy6, and then use the switch function to determine which image will show up in which case. Now you might have noticed that number 1, player 1's roll, and number 2's roll, player 2's, are global. That is because of, again, wanting either player to roll first. That way, when we get to here, so this is the computation of all the values. So once both players have rolled, it'll then determine, this is the code that shows what will happen if player 1 wins and if their switch is set to attack or heal. Then if player 2 wins, their switch is set to attack or heal. And this code is the same, is copy and pasted between both players. So that way, again, no matter who rolls first, this computation will still happen. Then below that here, we have the lose function. Or it's not a function, it's just what happens once either player loses. And scroll down here. See, it's the same here. Now, below that here is the start button. Once again, it's just that once both players hit their start buttons, then all of the objects pop into place, the start buttons turn off, and then the global values are set to 0 so that nothing ends up being messed up. Now you might have noticed that not everything was invisible at the start of the game. I originally wanted only the start buttons to show up until they're both hit, and then everything pops into place. But for some reason, I could not figure out how to make these attack and heal labels invisible, so I kept them and a couple other things open, or visible, before the start button is pressed. Okay, and that's it for the core. Next, I'll turn it over to Ryan to talk about the animations and sound effects.
Hi, my name's Ryan, and I'm going to present my part of the project. So I was in charge of designing the art assets for the fight, mainly the characters, the backdrop, the health bar. So whenever a player attacks each other, you can see they damage the other player and their health reduces. So I'm in charge of designing the health bar for each of them so that whenever one of them takes damage, their health reduces. You can see the visual feedback. And when they heal themselves, you can see it change too. And I was also in charge of designing the battle log system, which is basically keeps track of all the players' roles throughout the game. So you see after the player plays, you can see the updated role each time they play it. And once the game is over, it will re-wipe the system and start over again. You can also turn this on and off during the battle so it doesn't obstruct your vision. Let's see. Bingo. So when the new game starts, it restarts itself. So let's move on to the code part. I implemented a health bar system where every time they take damage, according to their current health, it will display their current health bar. And I also implemented a sound function that basically plays a sound file every time something happens. So, well, I can't really record the video with the sound on while the game is playing, but when the game plays, you can hear a different sound when something happens. So this is an example when the corgi, player 1, attacks player 2. So when player 2 gets damaged, it will make a hiss sound, and that is part of my reach contribution. Same when player 1 heals themselves, it'll play a bark sound to show that the dog is healing themselves. And after the game is over, it will play a victory sound, and it resets itself. Also, most importantly, it'll play a dice roll sound whenever both players play their dice. And here you can see the button for battle log. Whenever you click on it, it will show it, and whenever you click on it again, it will close it off. And that is all for my contribution.
Hello everyone, I'm the Destiny group member and my name is Ethan. My job is make sure our game to play online, but it's finally not working. But anyway, this is our code here, and this is make sure the MATLAB can access to the ThinkSpeak channel. And in this part, let's just update the player's health value to the ThinkSpeak, and this part is prevent the health value below than 0, and this part is make sure the ThinkSpeak can read the value, the data from another player. And in this part is just as same as the previous part to update the healthy value. And in this part, it will update the score, which player win and which player lose. And in the last part, the code is as same as the previous part, but it's finally not working. I don't know why. Uh, you can see this game can still playable, but we played like once. There are some bugs, but I can found them. Uh, but anyway, we try this ThinkSpeak function. It's not working for the online game, unfortunately.